Hello, Watem here, and welcome back to Small Higurashi When They Cry. Let's continue. I think I'll continue with the strawberry milk candy line. Mio-san, your friend is here. I heard the housekeeper's voice. Our house and the front yard are huge, so unlike normal houses, ringing a doorbell or yelling my name repeatedly, asking to play won't work.
はい、ありがとうございます。どなたです？
Rika Furude-chama.
来たね来たね。ばっちゃんにリカちゃまが来たって伝えてもらえます？多分、あっちの縁側にいると思います。私はスイカを引き上げてきますね。
Granny received many beautiful watermelons from someone, so she wanted to share. I had just called the Furude house a short time ago, and Rika-chan has come here to pick one up. Did she come on her bicycle? Can't remember if she has a big enough basket. I pulled the watermelon from the well while thinking about that. The cold water in the well is refrigerated with a watermelon, and the condensation makes it look delicious. 3 members of the Furude family will enjoy it for at least 2 nights.
お持ち帰りだったのですか。僕はてっきり。あれ？おじさんそう言わなかったっけ？
The priest answered with home. I thought I told him to come pick it up. Maybe I wasn't clear enough. Maybe he misunderstood me completely. But she's here to eat the watermelon, not take it home. Besides, a small basket on Rika-chan's bike won't hold the watermelon, and it's too dangerous for her to ride while holding it in her hands.
ミオン、お前リカちゃまんちまで超持ってったらな。スイカ片手んな自転車なんこがれんて。
僕だってスイカくらい持てますのですよ。
危な。リカちゃまに何かあったらお社様に申し訳立たんね。うちのミオンが運ぶんね。任せたったら。
はい、任せられたったら。じゃあついでに神主さんにご挨拶でもしてこようかね。
No matter whether she rides or pushes her bike, Rika-chan's hands will be occupied. So I'm going to carry the watermelon. The sky is turning auburn in the sunset. The cool breeze feels good in my sandaled feet. The plastic bag I'm carrying contains watermelon, and also some small bags of rock candy. If mother finds them, she'll take them away, so we decided to eat them before we got to her home. We opened the bags and enjoyed the rock candy. Rika-chan isn't an exception. Whenever kids from our neighborhood come to our house for errands, Granny gives them treats. Actually, that's a pretty common rule here in Hinazawa. It's funny, but sometimes when parents aren't watching, siblings will fight over who gets to take the circular notice to the next house over. So these bags of rock candy are like tips for them. Of course, she doesn't normally give out this much. Usually it's just a little bit of a piece of it. Granny is being extra nice to Rika-chama.
僕だけこんなにいろいろおだちんをもらうと他の人に悪い気がしますです。別に気にすることないんじゃない？おだちんは好意みたいなもんなんだもん。変に断るよりは子供らしくありがとうって言って笑顔を見せる方がよっぽどいいと思うけどね。みーはおだちんをよくもらいますですか？昔はね。でもさすがにこの年になったらもらわなくなったな。今もらうとなんだか子供扱いされてるみたいでかえってカチンとくるかななんてね。僕は子供扱いなので。いいじゃん。もらえるうちにもらっとけばいい。私くらいになれば欲しくてももらえなくなるんだからさ。
As we talked about ordinary things, I noticed Rika-chan seemed a little sad.
どうしたの？ 僕はお買い物に行ってもよくおだちんに飴をもらいますが、さとこは一緒に行ってももらえませんです。
あ、
I can think of so many reasons why. Not only Sadako, but everyone of the Ojo family is being treated poorly in Hinamizawa. It sounds like your family are the ones who instigated that. The 2 dam supporters have died in an accident already. Oh. The malice against the Ojo family is still going. It's directed against Sadako and Satoshi, their children, the aunt and uncle who are taking care of them. A big fight between the Ojo family and the Sonozaki family at the explanatory meeting started all of this. That was the Ojo couple, and you shouldn't have anything to do with the children and their aunt and uncle. The idea that the Ojo family are traitors evolved on its own. Therefore, anyone bearing the Ojo name is to be treated poorly. The aunt and uncle weren't damn supporters, so over time the attacks towards them should have stopped. But they're rather odd. They keep having trouble with their neighbours. They don't follow the community rules, don't do their community duties, and they spray pesticide while the neighbours' laundry is still hanging outside. They often get into fights with the other villagers. They'd be hated even without the dam. Therefore, the Ojo family continues to be treated poorly. But none of that should have anything to do with Satoko and Satoshi. Satoko and Satoshi are often depressed at school. I try to leave the conflict between the 2 families aside, but I wonder how they really feel about that. From their point of view, I was just another member of a family that keeps harassing them.
せめて学校にはそんな雰囲気を持ち込ませたくない。だから私はそういう風に振る舞ってるつもりだよ。それを学校の中だけでなく外にも広げるにはどうしたらいいのですか？
That would be pretty difficult. The Ojo family made enemies of the 3 families. They were branded as traitors, that's still considered a truth. It wouldn't mean anything if one person suggested to end the hostilities just because the events around the dam are history now. On the contrary, I would just put them in the same position. Unfortunately for Satoko and Satoshi, the only thing they can do is wait patiently until the issue of his way. All I can do for them is provide an oasis until that day comes.
では、さとこたちはいつまで耐え忍べばいいのですか？わかんない。ダム戦争は数年に及んだ。その時に押された烙印を払拭するんだから、それと同じ年数はかかるかもしれないね。それはつまり、さとこたちが大人になるまで誰にも許してもらえないということですか？さとこが子供のうちはずっと村中から冷たい目で見られていろということですか？それはあまりにも辛いね。みー、僕たちはさとこやさとしの仲間なのですよね。そうだよ。私にとってだって仲間だよ。なら僕たちの仲間を救うために僕たちに何かできることはないのでしょうか？私たちに何ができるんだろうね。
Even if the Sonozaki family declares that the dam conflict is over, so the Sojo family are no longer outcasts, that won't solve the problem. It's not that simple. In the first place, Granny hates the Sojo family and won't suffer their name to be mentioned in her presence. Well, we know that isn't entirely true. It's not a matter of someone forgiving another. It's a matter of very complicated ties between the people in this village. It's absolutely terrifying to have them as your enemies. Everyone knows that very well, and that's why they maintain good relationships with their neighbours. However, if you make enemies out of them, you'll have to face the consequences. That's the unwritten law of the Japanese community. The Sonozaki family is part of this unwritten law. Now that the Ojo family are out, outcasts. Not even the Sanzaki family can overturn the situation.
ひなみ沢のことは、ひなみ沢の人間にはどうしようもないということなのでしょうか。
悲しいけど、そういうこともあるかもしれない。もし、里子を救う人が現れてくれるとしたら、それは、村のしがらみにとらわれない、そういう人なんだろうね。でも、そんな人、村にはいない。
Keiichi comes, but too late.
村の外から誰かが助けに来なければ救われないということですか？
Like Rika-chan says, would a knight in shining armor from the outside world ever come here? Would that person bring in a new wind into this village that has been filled with stale air for hundreds of years? No way. That's just wishful thinking. Time will solve the problem someday. Until then, I have to be their ally. Can't think of anything else I can do for them. As Rika-chan and I crunched on our rock candy, we can only pray that people will forgive Satoko and her family sooner rather than later. Rika-chan gently broke the heavy silence.
きっと、
Oh.
きっと村の外からしがらみにとらわれない人がやってきます。
そうだね。ダム戦争も終わったんだから、また分譲地に外から人が引っ越してきてくれるといいね。
Now then, why exactly are those lots for sale?
近い年の転校生とか来れば楽しいだろうに。
来ます。きっと。そして彼と力を合わせて私たちは村の悪兵を打ち破るのです。それが私たちの未来を閉ざす3つの錠前に対する最初の鍵。
Rika. But the 3 rules, right? Yeah.
え？何それ？なんかの小説？
Rika-chan says some odd things sometimes. When she talks that way, she seems so mature. I even start to doubt that she's really younger than I am. The unreasonable antagonism towards the Ojo family. Will there really be someone from the outside who will shatter our old traditions? So yeah, I was thinking Rena will come, but she's not entirely unrelated. And speaking of Rena, oh, no, red capsule. I thought it said watermelon. Chris. But that needs to move the family smooth, which requires a red capsule. Could do. Okay, so that's definitely too far. So I guess Satoko. My name is Satoko Ojo, but Ojo is my current father's family name. I was also Satoko Hatake, Satoko Yoshizawa, and also Satoko Matsura because of my previous fathers. I'm still not used to being called Ojo, so if someone calls me Satoko, then I know that person is talking to me, because Satoko is the name I've been using since I was born. I don't understand why my mother keeps getting married and divorced. If she's gonna get a divorce, why does she get married? If she's married, why does she get a divorce? I asked her before, but depending on the situation, her answers were different. When I asked her when she was married, she got angry. When I asked her after she got divorced, she cried. I don't understand the meaning of marriage, so I have no interest in drawing pictures of the bride in a wedding dress. I don't think I'll ever get married. I don't want to keep changing my child's last name. My teacher once asked if I liked my mother. I think it was when I was in kindergarten or Kanamura. That was a very difficult question, Sometimes I loved her very much, sometimes I hated her very much. I couldn't decide. When my mother was nice, she smiled all the time. She made us happy. She thanked me for being her daughter. When my mother wasn't nice, she frowned all the time. She treated my brother and me very poorly. She told me I should have never been born. My teacher asked me if I liked my father. That was a very easy question, because I always hated him very much, no matter who he was. New fathers always treat me nicely at first, as if I was their real daughter. They always told me I could think of them as my real father. But they couldn't be my real father. Besides, I didn't even know my real father's face. How could I call him my father? I couldn't. That was disgusting. Right before divorce, my fathers always became very irritated with me. They treated me like a cockroach. They told me they didn't have they didn't have money to feed me. They threw things at me. They locked me out on the veranda. I was told I could forget about them because that was all in the past. I think that was a different teacher from a different school. Maybe that's true, because ever since Sojo became my father, my mother has been smiling. I haven't seen them get into a fight as I've seen happen just before a divorce. They have little arguments here and there. Those don't lead to a divorce. They always make up. But I'm sure they'll get a divorce sooner or later. Then it'll be the same old stuff with family court, divorce settlements, a night fight, and child support. So who knows how long the soldier will be my father. That's why I don't even feel like calling him that. He was also treating me well at first. But when I didn't call him father, even after he asked me repeatedly, he became irritated. We'll get a divorce soon. When my father gets into this mood, a divorce is on the way. After a divorce, it's my mother's turn to be irritated with me. Then she'll tell me she shouldn't have had me, or she can't be happy because of me. Why is my existence causing problems for my mother? I asked my brother and he told me, if you have children, it's not easy to find someone to get married with. My mother, marriage is a very important job, so I can understand having children around will cause problems. I think I finally understand the reason why I'm a nuisance to her. I asked my brother something else. Why are children hated by new fathers? Well, that's simple. That's because family members all have different roles. Mother's job is to love the children, father's job is to love the mother. That means I'm a nuisance to both my mother and my father. My brother is more mature than me, so they don't look down on him as a nuisance. But maybe I am. No, I'm definitely a nuisance. So now I know. Both my mother and father want me dead. But if they kill me, they'll be caught. So that doesn't mean they won't kill me. If I was to look down the cliff, and if no one was around, my mother and father would push me off for sure. Isn't that basically what happened to them? They were on a cliffside and like the railing gave way or something? My father has become abnormally nice to me recently. Started to act that way ever since I made the fake call. I know for sure that it's just a part of the plot to kill me. So because of all the depression stuff, she's already been affected by the Minotaur syndrome and paranoia. So I won't let them trick me. I'm sorry. Lately when I listen very carefully. I can hear her always apologizing. Oh, that's so... Anu. Her voice sounds similar to mine. Her mother must be telling her that she shouldn't have been born. No, she's sorry to you. I'm sorry. But I won't apologize like that. I'll live. I'm going to strike back. I'll kill before I get killed. Ooh, I'm sorry. Don't think we had a red caption yet. Definitely not. No. Okay, yeah, we're all just siblings then, I guess. The Rojo family is well known for going against the whole village during the dam conflict. Both the husband and wife were rather aggressive. They fought a fierce battle, especially against the Sonozaki family. But the whole village treated them coldly. The husband and wife didn't really care and kept on fighting. In a way, they were extremely strong-willed people. I'm sure their children had to go through a lot because of them, though. Sadako-chan and Satoshi-kun were treated coldly by the villagers as well. In addition to that, Sadako-chan and her stepfather didn't get along, so their stress levels must have reached their limits. Because I'm the director of a local clinic, a rather respected member of society, people usually tell me a lot of things, so I was aware of the treatment they were receiving even before I met them. I met Satoshi-kun first. Satoshi-kun came to the clinic because he felt ill from too much stress. He must have thought he had a cold. When I examined him, he even told me that. But hearing his repeated sighs, and by seeing the exhausted look in his eyes, I knew right away it wasn't just a simple cold. Medication would heal his symptoms, but that would only be a temporary measure. The only way to truly cure him would be to change his living environment. That was easier said than done. He was surrounded by tangled and complicated relationships with the village and his family, so just resting for a few days and taking some medication wouldn't do. Time was the only thing that could ease him off the cold treatment from the villagers, but we were talking a very, very long time. That's why I felt I had to be their first ally in this village, so I could rescue them. I couldn't do anything about a stressful environment, but I could try to diminish the anxiety. So I thought the best way was to teach him how to vent his stress. And playing sports is the best way to do that. So I asked him to join the junior baseball team that I coach. As a researcher, I devote most of my time to Higurashi syndrome, but I too need to do something else to relax. I used to play baseball, so I decided to coach the local kids team. After a while, the children of Higurashi started their own baseball team, and somehow I became their coach. Doctors can't provide health just by giving medication. You need a sound mind and a sound body. I believe health can be maintained through sports as well. But our team needed more people, so I thought of asking Satoshi-kun to join. Being a bookworm, Satoshi-kun wasn't interested in playing sports. He wasn't sure how joining the baseball team would help his situation. I didn't need to go on and on about athletic medicine to explain why sports help people become healthy. I just wanted him to experience it himself, to realize how great it feels to play sports. I think he realized it gradually. He was reluctant until the end, but he attended all the team activities and games. As I saw Satoshi-kun slowly regain his liveliness, I realized my plan worked. However, if Satoshi-kun was under that much stress, and Sadako-chan, who lives in the same family climate, must have felt the same way. Unfortunately, I didn't think of her back then. So when Sadako was carried into my clinic as a patient, I regretted doing nothing about her even while knowing the situation. Satoshi-kun recovered under my guidance. Sadako-chan was left alone in her stressful environment. Also around that time, there was an incident bad enough to make Sadako-chan collapse. That was, of course, her parents' deaths. The day of the Watem festival was a very uncomfortable time for the Rojo family, because although it was a village festival, it was also a day to celebrate victory over the dam construction project. It was understandable that they would plan a family trip around that time so they could leave the village. Sadako-chan's parents fell off the cliff at the park they were visiting. It happened on such an unlucky day. Because it happened on the day of Watem, people said that it was the curse of Oyashiro-sama, and people labelled the Rojo family as one that was cursed by Oyashiro-sama. The parents were given the cold shoulder by everyone in the village, so with their parents gone, Satoshi and Sadako must have been free from that, but, unfortunately, the accident happened on the day of Watem. That's why the members of the Ojo family continue to be shunned. Sadako-chan was the only one who was at the site of the accident. Accident? I'm not so sure anymore. Satoshi-kun didn't go on the trip because he had an event for the baseball team. Therefore, the police mainly interrogated her. The detective, Oishi-san, suspected an act of organized crime by the village, so Sadako was the only witness on site. He drilled her with questions. She was as stressed as Satoshi-kun, perhaps even more, so of course she couldn't take it. During the interrogation, she began to wheeze and gasp for air. The anguished look I saw on Satoshi-kun's face when she was carried into the clinic was very, very tragic. It broke my heart just to imagine what she had to go through.
監督、聡子は大丈夫ですか？
ええ、安心してください。一時的に混乱してしまっただけですよ。
あっても大丈夫ですか？
やっと薬でぐっすり眠れたところです。できれば起こさないであげたいところです。しばらくゆっくり休ませてあげましょう。様子を見て数日入院させてあげるのもいいかもしれません。大丈夫。私に任せてください。
ありがとうございます。
I know Satoshi-kun is a great big brother who truly cares about his sister. He emphasizes deeply with her. In other words, Satoshi-kun's worries and stress were reflecting Sadako-chan herself. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but while Satoshi-kun was, of course, sad about his parents' death, he may, at the same time, have been a little relieved that they were gone. His sister wouldn't have to be driven into a corner anymore. Oh, how wrong you are. Unlike Satoshi-kun, Sadako-chan didn't have the social skills to get along with her stepfather. So putting her mother aside, I was certain that losing her father, the greatest cause of stress in her life, would bring great change to her home environment. But I couldn't believe what happened next. The two were sent to live in an even worse condition with their aunt and uncle. Although, at that time, I was rather optimistic, thinking this new environment would be better for the siblings. How wrong you were. How wrong indeed. But yeah, it's interesting seeing all these snippets from different people's perspectives. In particular, I liked Rika at the end of this one. Realizing what's come. So I'm not sure if that counts as the deaths of parents for this. So it's got a bit of time left, so try to figure out what's next. So that one's still a while. Okay. Discontinuation Sadako just dissection plan. Okay. I think we've done. No, I don't think we have done the motive to become doctor. Vergier's curse. I don't think we've done that one either. That one was the Rika's parents. Definitely not that. Definitely not that. Hospitalization of Sadako has been, but I don't think the death of construction manager. Neither of those. That one hasn't happened yet. That one hasn't happened yet. That one. Neither of those have happened. So we get to hear about the truth from Sadako's point of view. That one hasn't happened. That one will be requesting assistance from the Queen is for that one. Maybe something else as well in between. Ooh, this one has been done. I think. So you can probably do that one next. First one's happened, the second one hasn't. Maybe I actually might have. That one definitely hasn't. But yeah, we can check next time. Neither of those happened. Not that one either. Or that one. That one will be this. That one's a fair way away. Yeah, because first one's happened, the second one hasn't. First one's happened, second one hasn't. Neither of those have happened. Neither of those has happened. Neither of those have happened. Second one happened, first one hasn't. Neither of those. Neither of those, I think. Red capsule hasn't either. And neither is that. And neither is that. Okay, so in case probably continue with we'll check if this one's possible first and then the pleasure bodies next time. So I hope you all enjoy. Let me know any feedback you have in the comments. And until next time, see ya.